What's up, guys? It's Mom Deadhead back for another Team Build Tuesday. I'm really excited about this one, and I'm going to start off by saying this is going to be all about weapons for, raiding and weapons for killing zombies. The first thing I'm going to do is open up this guy, which I'm really hoping is a stun. Okay. Oh, I don't think it did. No. I've tried so many times for this guy, so many times now. Okay, so gonna go ahead and hit yes here. And first I want to start off just like how I started off with the leader skill last week. And I'm telling you guys about my blunders, my bad decisions that I made. So, whoops, didn't mean to go on the roster. Gonna go over to weapons and show you some of the ones that I regret, or that, I just didn't know how things worked at the time. This is one of them. So as you can see, I have Impair on this weapon, and while Impair is very, very good, you can see that I cannot modify this weapon anymore, and that's because I did not know how to reset weapons. So I just kept trying, and then when it got to, the third one, it would, ask if you wanted to reset. So basically that's what I thought. I thought that was the only way to get there. I never really, at this point in the game and me playing, I hadn't, paid attention enough to see that there was a huge reset button right in the armory, right here, reset weapon. So, that being said, didn't know about that. And also at the time, I made this guy. And this isn't the worst weapon in the world. Like, it could be much, much worse. But whenever you modify a 3-star weapon, you still have to use a polishing kit and duct tape. And you only get, 2 little slots over here to modify. So, while I did know about reset at that point, at this point in the game for me, whenever I was making this weapon, I think I only had this, and I think I only had maybe one of these. So I really wanted to modify something with large bonus to AP when attacking. And when I got crit on this, I was like, well, I want to keep it because it could be a good zombie weapon. And then when I got this, I didn't realize that that wasn't like the best thing ever. I just thought, oh, it hit legendary, so I'm going to keep it, which was also, not a good decision for me. So I'm not going to complain too much about this guy because I did get 30% defense on him, and I did get stunned, so it could be much worse. Plus, looks kind of cool. So I like that guy. Now, I want to get into the fact that certain upgrades are special to the weapon. And obviously, like, if you use something really heavy, that's what you want to try and modify and try and help out so it helps your team. So, at the time, I had nearly an all-blue team, so I was trying for Impair, and I have these 2 Impair shotguns right here. So, Impair and Impair on attack can only go to blue. Stun on attack can only go to green. Stun on defense can only, I don't have any red weapons. Can only go on red, and then yellow is the only one that can get absolute defense. So later in this video, I am going to show you an actual sheet from it and discuss some different options that you have with weapons. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the type of weapon that you put the specific thing that you want on. Now, what you really, really want, like say you're trying to get Impair, and you get Impair on like a military shotgun, make sure that you keep resetting. Like I said, you can reset weapons, so if you don't get it that first try, don't try again, reset, and then try again. So if you do get it, you don't end up with a weapon like this that you can't modify anymore. You want to be able to modify it again to fit the particular team that you want it to go on. Also, whenever you're going to upgrade something, like you want, I'm just going to stick with impair in this situation. You really want impair. I'm going to scroll all the way over to maybe some weapons down here. Let's see. Like, for example, this guy. It's a decent weapon. I don't personally use it at the moment. I'm trying to find a use for it. But as you can see, it doesn't have any purple slots. None of these slots are purple. So your best bet in making a really good weapon is using something that already has a legendary stat. So in other words, like what I was saying with the impair, here it is. Okay. This already has 30% attack on it. So that purple means it's like legendary quality. That's a really good stat. So you want to put something very good on that. And you want to put it on something that doesn't already have something like really good at the bottom. So say that you pull a weapon and it like already has, let's see. Trying to think. This guy. This is a perfect example. You pull this and it automatically has this bottom stat right here. It says self-healing. When killing an enemy, a better chance to regain 100% HP and plus 50 defense for 1 turn. You don't want to try and make this into a stun gun. What will be good for a stun gun is something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reset that gun so you can see what it looks like. Okay. So let's go back in. I always hit gear. Sorry, guys. Where is it? It ran away. Okay. So as you can see, it already has 30% defense on it. Now, the top one, obviously I'm going to modify if I ever happen to get stunned on the bottom slot here. So it gives me more options and less things that I have to work on. Like if I were to try and get something like, let's go back here and see. Where's that one rifle that I was just showing? Instead of trying on something like this, which has like all yellow, nothing purple, I'm going to have to put more work into this, which leaves me, less options. You only have 3 tries to modify a weapon. So let's say I get impair on the bottom and now I want 30% defense and 30% HP. I'm going to have to put more work into this. So it's good if it already has a stat to work with. You don't want to replace a good stat already. For example, the gun that I just showed you guys, that already has a good stat at the bottom. Don't remove that stat. Don't take it away to try and get a different one. If you already have another weapon handy that has another good stat on it, like don't make this a stun weapon if you have one of those Desert Eagles. That wouldn't make a lot of sense in the long run when you can use this weapon for something else. Like I use this weapon on my Mirabelle, my command Mirabelle right now. I'm about to go for another modification to that top slot. So that's going to work for me on a different team. And not all weapons have to be the same, which is what I'm going to talk about just a little bit later. Let's see. I want to make sure. I have like a whole bunch of notes here written down so I can tell you guys everything that I've been thinking about all day with weapons. It would be nice. This is just a thought that I would really, really like. If you could have a little lock button on these so that you don't accidentally disassemble. Because earlier I talked about having a 3-star weapon with stun on it. And like I said, I only had 2 other green weapons at the time. I tried so much and I thought I had decent stats on them. So I just tried on something with a large bonus to AP. I have another weapon. Oh, where is it? I already scroll past. It's always so difficult to find. Where are you? Here it is. So this weapon, I don't necessarily regret, because this was at a time in the game where polishing kits and duct tape were very hard to get. Or, I mean, at least not as common as they are now. I know that if I get to level 120, then I'm going to have 20 of each. So I'm good. I'm set. At that time, I didn't. And whenever you go into your armory, let's go. Let me give you an example. Let me turn these guys around here. Let's say I want absolute defense, and I want to try. You only get one modification to this, so one and done. Whenever you're trying here, this is what you need. So you need this glue, and I'm not 100% sure what those are called. And I've already had a lot of, like, I've had those for the longest time. This is stuff that's really, really easy to obtain. So say you're like just now starting out in the game, you don't have any duct tape, and you're like, man, I really could use an absolute defense weapon. I got a day, and I got plenty of stuff. I got plenty of this stuff. I got plenty of the required parts. You know, let's throw it in there and see what happens. That's basically what I did, because I didn't have the resources, or, I mean, I wasn't very, very high in the game at this point. So whenever I actually got the absolute defense on that little weapon and I showed it to my faction at the time, everybody was like, whoa, that's the coolest thing ever. I haven't got one of those. But now looking at it, it's like, what a worthless weapon. Because yes, it still gets, you know, the defense in there, but it's definitely nothing compared to like this guy right here. Because I was able to modify it 2 more times after getting the absolute defense. So I was able to put that HP and defense in there, which makes a lot of difference. So that being said, obviously you really want to get that special stat in first, because then you can have the other 2 to modify and do whatever you want to it. Don't start with the HP, don't start with defense like on this weapon right here, because that last slot is not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that you're going to get absolute defense on it. So that being said, guys, I wanted to talk to you about something else. And that is zombie weapons. So I said last week, I made the mistake of whenever I was trying to, you know, defeat zombies, that I would just put in my best team, hope for the best, and would get demolished every single time because I didn't understand like why this awesome team that I had wasn't working. And that's because I didn't have enough crit. And last leader skill video, I talked about needing a crit leader. You also need crit weapons. So let's go back in. Might take some scrolling, but I'm going to show you guys. So like this. And I know that, you know, not everybody has like 30 crit weapons. Whenever you start out, it takes a long time to accumulate this many weapons. And as some of you guys know that watch my videos, I'm a weapon and character hoarder. So I have tons and tons of this stuff. I even have tons and tons of like 3-star weapons, as you guys saw as I was scrolling. I don't need all these guys, but I have them because I just haven't assembled it yet. But let's go back over to these crit weapons. So crit, remember, crit. That is how you are going to defeat zombies of any color. And the thing about this is you can put crit on like all the different colors. So all the traits. Sorry for saying colors. I know it's traits. So you go in and hopefully you have a crit, 30 crit, 20 crit, any crit is good on top. And then you can see at the bottom, I have 20 crit for the first 2 turns of every wave, and then I have a couple different ones. Bonus crit when HP is more than 60%. So basically what the bottom does is you get even more crit. You need crit on crit on crit, and I'm dead serious, guys. That's what it takes to defeat zombies. It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters a little bit percentage-wise, you know. A 4-star is obviously going to do a little bit better than a 3-star, but don't get discouraged if that's all you have. Like these guys over here. And whenever you're wanting to add that bottom slot, It doesn't take a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and I know that I need to do green because I have 2 Lucille's that I haven't done anything for. So go ahead and just pop it in. Slayer 1. It only takes an hour, so I think that I can skip after like 45 minutes. So it's just a 15-minute weapon. I'll add these 2. As you can see, I have plenty of that. So gonna go ahead and craft, and in 15 minutes, I'm gonna have an even better weapon to kill zombies with. So that's definitely an easy way to take, and I did not learn this until, I want to say like a month and a half ago, when another YouTuber, Lockdown, taught me to put Slayer 1 on my weapons. So now I have Slayer 1 on like every single color. I have these guys, and then I have these guys, these yellow ones right here. I have one more that's cooking, but that one's a very special weapon. And then I have these guys with crit on it too, so I have it for every color now. That being said, there is one special thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and that is this Guardian Zeke. So if you read this specialist skill, and this is for anybody that has this in their specialist skill, the critical attack. So when this character performs a crit attack on an enemy, they will apply damage and, do the Guardian too. So you need a crit weapon on him. Now, I know that's different from what I said because crit defeats zombies, but crit also makes skills like that go off. Another character that I know that does the same thing is Alpha. I want to say Alpha. She's newer. But she has like the collateral damage, so if you have a crit weapon on her, it helps the collateral damage go off. So right now, I'm trying to make a special weapon for him with a lot of crit. So I have in this guy right here. Let's see. I don't know if it would actually show up over here. But what I'm doing at the moment is I have one of these in at Slayer 3. So it's going to be a better stat for me in the long run. After I put that extra crit on this weapon, I'm going to add more crit to the top, which is a very simple thing to do. A lot of things in the armory, I made a different armory video before. I'll put a link in the description down below to show you guys that one. This is definitely a more updated version because at the time I was still learning things about the armory, because you can never know too much about the armory. Everything's always changing. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. Hoping that I went over everything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to join my line chat. Also going to be in the description below. It's always in the description if you want to add me, and I'll get you put in the group. So now I'm going to show you the sheet of upgrades that I have. Okay guys, so these are all of the, special stats that you really want if you're going for like, Defender 3, Raider 3, Slayer 3, and Supporter 3. And these are all the traits. So as you can see, like we got Absolute Defense up here, Defender 3 to try for Absolute Defense. Bonus AP, so all team members receive 8% AP at the beginning of each wave. So you can see that there are different options. You can get double attack, impair when taking damage, impair when attacking, AP down when attacking, a better chance to cause minus 30 AP, stun, splash damage, teammate reviving and stun, and AP down. So one thing that I want to stress about this is that these are not guaranteed. So, for example, whenever you're upgrading and you want to say you want to put like 1 crit, basically you're going to either fail or you're going to get 1 crit. But if you try for Defender 3, you might not get Absolute Defense. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll over just a little bit so I can show you. I know the quality isn't the best here, but you can see like, you don't necessarily get absolute defense. You can get any of these other things here on level 3. So reflect damage, bonus defense, and typically you get bonus defense. It's going to take a lot of tries to get some of the stats that you really, really want. You can see over here, if you're trying for stun, you get like attack down or bonus defense, which is what I got. Then let's see, is it? Oh, where is it? Okay, yeah, stun over here. You get bleeding, which you saw. I had a vast array of bleeding weapons. And then you can see there's, the impair when taking damage down here, but there's always other things that you most likely end up getting. It takes many tries. Don't get discouraged if you don't get it the first or second or third try. It will eventually happen. It may seem like forever. I think my stun on attack took over 30 tries. Some came a little bit easier. Let me go ahead and just wait on this screen right here. Some of the upgrades for me came a little bit easier, like the absolute defense happened on my second try. Impair happened on my first try the first time, and then it took me many tries to get the second one. I still haven't got stun on red. Like, for some reason, stun on red just absolutely hates me and I haven't got it yet. But one day I will. I'm just gonna keep trying. And then stun on strong probably was the one that got away from me the most. I still haven't gotten AP down on strong. I still haven't gotten the bonus AP on fast. And like I said, it just takes time. I still don't have some of these weapons. And I know that I do have a lot of legendary weapons because I get comments on it in my live stream. Like, how did you make those? How did you get all of those? Just go by what I said. Try and stick with weapons that already have one legendary stat. If you don't have any, they'll come. It takes time, but they'll come. Then you want to put this type of upgrade first. So get like absolute defense, and then already on a weapon with like 30 defense. And then try for the next one, which typically is much easier to get. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but most of the time that is a stat that you can normally get a lot easier. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. If I left anything out, please comment below. If you guys have any questions, please comment. If you want to join my line chat, feel free to shoot me a message online and I'll get you added there because I'm actually in the line chat right now. That's where all of this information is. So that's going to be all for my video, guys. Remember, like and subscribe. Bye, guys.